Okay, good morning. Today we're talking with Wes Goodwin again, the CEO of DataMake Services. And today, Wes, I'd like to talk about the forensic services. We've talked about the data recovery services, answered questions. Today I'd like to get into some of the do's and don'ts and the ins and outs as far as the forensic services. And I guess one question that we get or talking with people is, when choosing somebody to do forensic services, what are some things that somebody's going to want to look for and make sure that how do they know that they're dealing with somebody that is that's reputable, that can do the job and not mess things up, especially since we're dealing with litigation possible issues here.
Right. It's very important that a qualified forensics company or forensics investigator be selected, because if you select somebody who does not follow the proper procedures, it could break a case. So there's certain things you want to look for. In Texas, a computer forensics investigator has to be licensed with the Private Security Bureau, and so some sort of licensing is something you want to look for. Also, you want to make sure that the company will properly handle the evidence. That is of the utmost importance. If the evidence is spoiled or mishandled, it could be disastrous. So the person handling the evidence should know how to process chain of custody and should also know how to acquire the electronic evidence from the media without disturbing it or changing metadata or information associated with the time and date stamps of the files and usage of the computer. That must be preserved. And also, you want to make sure that this person has experience with searching and analyzing the data and obtaining the evidence necessary, and as well as reporting those to the customer.
Okay. What's a typical situation that you're running across most of the time? Is it individuals calling in? Is it corporate from a corporate standpoint? Is it the attorneys that are contacting you? Where's the initial contact coming from?
We get it from all facets. We have attorneys call, corporations call, government entities, as well as individuals. We service all of those.
Okay, all right. And you were talking about chain of custody and handling the media as such. What's the process here? Somebody calls you up and they say okay, let's move forward. What's the process at that point that takes place from the standpoint of them getting the media to you once you've received the media, and how it's handled through the process, and then given back to the person, does it go to attorney, etc. So if you could kind of walk through that, I think that would be helpful for a lot of people.
Well, when someone initially calls in, we have a conversation on the phone with them just to get a feel for what the case is about. We want to make sure it's something that we're qualified to do. We also do a conflicts check to make sure that there's not any kind of conflict of interest. And then once we get past that, we will send a service agreement to the client that not only has terms and conditions engaging our services, but it also has some questions that, when answered, are very helpful to start out the investigation. And we work with the client to walk through those questions, and those define the parameters of how we're going to conduct the case. So once we get that back, the client either sends in the media to our lab, and we start there, or sometimes we are needed to go on site to do the initial acquisition. And regardless of whether it's on site or in our lab, we will take the media, and we mostly create a forensic image of it to properly preserve the information.
So it's not. So it's not altered. In other words, it stays
not
intact.
Altered in any way. That's right. This forensic image that we take preserves the information, and that preservation of the information is vital. Oftentimes, we will get a piece of media that the customer or an attorney or a computer repair shop has tried to do some searching on, and that has, altered the data, and has, it can be detrimental to various degrees depending on how much of that's done.
Sure, I can imagine it's not just to the case, but it also can make your job more difficult in finding or determining what they're asking you to do in the first place.
Right. It creates two paths. One is determining the person who was probing around on the computer, what they were doing, and then separating that from the actual evidence that we're going after.
Okay.
Once that image is complete, we also do some checks on the computer if the computer is available. The computer is not always available, and if it's not, then we don't. But if it is, we look at some information in the computer itself, in the BIOS. And then once we get past that point, we then conduct our investigation on the forensic image. And we can do a variety of investigations. We can look at kind of a history or a time and date stamp history of internet usage or usage of the computer. We can do email analysis and look for various emails, both in on the computer as well as in deleted form, of activities that may have occurred through email. We can we can do graphic image analysis for different types of graphic images, look for specific documents, just using a variety of parameters and keywords that are provided by the client.
Well, something you just said is deleted. So in other words, it's not just what you can visually see per se, but if things have been deleted or if there's been destruction on purpose, you still have for the most part, the ability to, I guess, dig underneath and find what you're looking for.
Right. We can look for things that are readily on the computer, things that have been deleted, and oftentimes if advanced techniques were used for getting rid of evidence, we can at least show that occurred if we can't get the evidence itself. So that is one common thing that we do. if data is wiped beyond recovery.
Okay. All right. Um, okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but keep going as far as just the process you're going through, in doing the
Yeah,
investigation.
throughout the investigation, then we'll use the parameters provided by the customer. We also keep in communication with the customer as we go through looking for the information that they're after. And we almost always get to an initial stage on our investigation where we produce a report. And the report is used in one of three ways. It is, number one, it may be used by the customer to find out that there's really not much evidence on the computer, and it's good that they didn't spend more money to find that out. Number two, we may give them exactly what they're after, and they have everything they need, and we're finished. And the third and the most common is they use the report as a tool to get a sampling of what kinds of things, what kinds of evidence and information is on the computer, and then they use that as a tool to provide us feedback so that we can do additional, more focused searching.
Okay. Okay. So I've actually seen it used too, where they can take it to opposing counsel and say, "Hey, there is stuff that we found," and it can. I've seen them use that as leverage against opposing counsel, saying, "Hey, there is stuff here."
Right. That's under the category of they get exactly what they're after, and the proof is in the pudding.
Okay. And then, okay, so once you get this report done, and let's say that they want a further investigation, they want you to dig deeper from that. You dig deeper and you complete it. Then then you give it back to the client at that point? The details? Does it go to the attorney? I guess really what I'm getting at is the chain of custody, something you had mentioned earlier. This information, from what I understand you were saying, is it needs to be documented. It needs to be can't be just handed out to anybody. It certain parties. And is there any type of usual sequence that this chain of custody happens from beginning to end, or is it just at random?
No, the chain of custody, of course, starts with the media, as the media goes from party to party, and that's tracked on there. Regarding the reporting, that's usually when we have the initial interview and the questionnaire with the customer, they tell us who we need to be reporting to, and so usually that.
So you have a point. You have
right back to the customer, or we'll go to the customer's attorney.
Okay, so you have a point person that you're dealing with, not a handful of people typically.
Typically, yeah, there's one or 2 points of contact.
Okay. Now, if somebody's entertaining, needing forensic services, what are some things that okay, I've determined that this person's computer, I need to, there's some. I think there's some evidence of what they've done on this. What are some things that I should do or not do to preserve and to make your life easier as far as them getting, or you getting, the information that they're looking for?
Well, if you want information on the computer and you want it to be altered as little as possible, the computer should not be used, if at all possible. It should be turned off and then sent in and an image created. That's not always possible, especially in the case where there might be servers, in a corporation that are used on an ongoing basis. In that case, we, have to usually do an acquisition on site, and sometimes have to do the acquisition live while the server's in use. But in many cases, we're talking about an individual laptop or a desktop computer or a cell phone or handheld computer device of some sort. And in those cases, they just should not be used, and they should just be sent in so that the evidence can be properly obtained and preserved.
Okay. Now, sent in, is there any, since we're dealing with forensics here, is it anything, is it different than, sending, like somebody sending their hard drive in for data recovery? Is there anything different there, or is it basically put it in a box and give it to FedEx to deliver?
Well, it needs to be packaged carefully, and put in anti-static bag and packaging properly. And yes, we recommend either hand delivery or FedEx overnight service. The big difference would be that in many cases there's going to be a chain of custody document that accompanies that. And so each person handling the evidence would be signing off on the chain of custody.
Is that a document that you provide, for instance, the client's handing it off to FedEx? Are they going to get the FedEx driver to sign for it, and then you get them, to sign a chain of custody when you receive it, or how does that change? When we initially have an initial discussion with the client and decide to move forward with a case, one of the things we do is we send them what's known as our forensic packet, and in that contains helpful information for them to get started. It contains a service agreement. It contains curriculum vitae for the investigator. It contains company qualification statement, company information, and contains a chain of custody document. And they can use that chain of custody document when they send off the media. Okay. All right. That makes sense. At this, I don't have any more questions at this point. I think that we've covered a lot. Probably answered a lot of questions that we typically get. Is there anything else that I've looked over that you'd like to add to what we've talked about? That at this point. Yes, one important thing to know is that we can do forensic analysis on a wide variety of media. One very often overlooked opportunity are backup tapes. A lot of times the focus is on a hard drive and issues going on with the hard drive. The good thing about backup tapes is that they are basically snapshots in time. They were created at some time in the past, and there is often a gold mine of opportunity to find evidence on these because, like I said, they were created at some point back in time. So that's something that I take every opportunity to point out, especially if we're trying to find things that were done, over time. Over time, yeah. Exactly. Okay, good point. I didn't think of that, to even bring that up, but good point. That's I can see how that in itself would be very helpful, in giving you those snapshots, from a time progression too. So, well, I don't have any more questions at this point. I think that we can conclude this, and Wes, I really appreciate your time once again, and I'm sure that we'll be back to talk to you soon, and have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.